How long and how often have you been riding horses?
I started riding when I was 5, and then I was only riding about once a week, and now I ride about 6 days a week, and I have my own horse.
How long and how often have you been riding horses?
Since I was 9.
Are there different styles of riding?
Yes, there are. There's 2 basic ones, and it's Western and English, and within those, there's a bunch of different styles.
Are there different styles of riding?
Yes.
What are they?
English and Western riding are the only 2 I know.
At what age do horses normally die?
It really depends on how they were raised and the amount of hard work they've done in their life. I have ridden competition horses that were in their early 30s, but I know horses that have lived until they were 40.
At what age do horses normally die?
I want to say like 25.
Okay.
How old does a horse have to be before it can start being ridden?
The normal age is 2, but that varies depending on what they're being trained for and the size and the breeding that they experienced.
How old does a horse have to be before it can start being ridden?
I want to say 3.
Are horses warm or cold-blooded?
Horses are mammals, meaning that they'd have to be warm-blooded.
Are horses warm or cold-blooded?
Warm.
So if all horses are warm-blooded, then what does hot bloods, warm bloods, and cold bloods refer to?
Hot bloods are horses that are very hyperactive and have a lot of energy. Warm bloods horses are still hyper, but they're not as hyper as hot bloods, and cold bloods are very calm and mellow.
So then what do hot bloods, warm bloods, and cold bloods refer to?
I couldn't tell you.
Why are we always told not to stand behind a horse?
Because the behind of a horse is their blind spot, so they can't see, and if anything spooks them, their automatic defense is to kick out.
Why are we always told not to stand behind a horse?
Because they'll kick you.
Why are horses known to kick you?
They're irritated? I don't know.
How do horses sleep?
They sleep standing up, and if a horse is sleeping down or on its side, it's usually a sign of a medical attention.
How do horses sleep?
Laying down, like arms underneath.
Are some horse breeds better as pets than others?
I would probably say the quarter horse because they're usually very good tempered and very calm.
Are some horse breeds better as pets than others?
I would say yes.
Do you know why?
No.
Do they typically get cold in the winter?
Yeah, horses do get cold in the winter, but their hair grows out long enough depending on their location and how cold it is, and the hair traps the heat inside and insulates it so they don't get that cold.
Why do some horses wear blankets in the winter?
If horses are ridden a lot in the winter, the riders will typically blanket them because they don't want their hair to grow out too long because when they ride them and they produce too much sweat.
Do horses typically get cold in the winter?
Yes.
Do
I
you
get
know-
cold.
Yeah. Do you
They're
see them?
warm-blooded,
Very true.
so yes.
Do they wear blankets for a certain reason?
Yes, to keep their backs warm. I think that's where most of their heat leaves.
What unit of measure do we use to measure the height of a horse?
We use a measure called hands, and a hand is 4 inches.
What do we measure a horse's height in?
Centimeters?
Typically, how do horses express their mood?
Horses use their eyes, their ears, and their nostrils to express their mood.
How do horses express their mood?
Their tail?
How do horses express their mood through their ears?
From my experience riding horses, I've learned that they pretty much have 4 different ways. If a horse's ears are faced forward, they're usually really interested in whatever is going on in front of them. If a horse's ears are pinned all the way back, they're usually very angry and are probably about to start kicking or bucking. If a horse's ears are not all the way back, but like back towards the rider, they're paying attention to the rider and all their attention is focused on the rider. And then if a horse's ears are very flopped, that means they're super relaxed and super calm.
When horses are expressing their mood, do they do anything with their ears?
They flick them
Which way?
and like turn them in and out.
Does it mean anything in specific?
I would say yes, like a cat, kinda.
How do horses express their mood through their eyes?
If they have dim, kind of lazy eyes, they're usually very happy and relaxed. And another experience I've had with horses is they can get kind of crazy-eyed and wild-looking if they're angry or in a really bad mood.
Do horses open their eyes extra wide or dim them extra small to mean different things in terms of their mood?
I would say no.
How do horses express their mood through their nostrils?
Horses' nostrils are usually very calm and relaxed. But if they start to flare, that's usually a sign of danger, and the horse is very fearful. And horses also use snorting as a way to express their feelings. Sometimes they use it as a sign of excitement, and other times they use it as either that they're scared or a sign of dominance if they're around other horses and are trying to prove that they're alpha.
Do horses do anything specifically with their nostrils when they express their mood?
Yes.
Do you know what they do?
They like huff out their nose when
Do you know what
they're
it means?
mad.
When they're mad. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it common to see a herd of horses all laying down?
No, but it is possible, and when they are all laying down, usually one is standing up to look out for danger because they are herd animals and have to look out for each other.
Is it common to see a herd of horses all laying down?
No.
Why?
I don't know. Unless they're like pregnant, maybe. I don't know.
How do you clean a horse?
So the way that I've been taught to groom my horses in a really clean way is first we take a curry comb, which is basically like a really hard brush, and you go in circular motions all over the horse's body to bring up any dirt that's on the very surface, or not the very surface, the closest to them. And then we take another brush that's like a little bit harder, but it's an actual brush, and we swipe like going down towards the legs, and that brings more dirt up to the surface. And then we use a really soft brush, and that gets any excess dirt that's on the very top of the horse's hair off of the horse's body. And then we use hoof picks to clean out the bottom of the horse's foot so that they're not running around all the time with a bunch of rocks and dirt in there. And in the summer and warmer months of the fall and the spring, if a horse gets really sweaty, we can actually wash them. And to wash them, we just take buckets with soap and water, and first we hose off the horse with kind of warm water, not too cold, because too cold can make their blood really thin, so we don't do that. But and then we take the soap with the sponge and clean their entire body, and then wash all of the water off, and we use a sweat scraper to get all of the excess water off of them. And then we usually let them graze in the sun until they are completely dry, because it's not good for them to put them up completely wet or still dripping. And it's also not good to wash the horse every day, because that can actually really damage their coat. So it's only safe to wash them 2 or 3 times a week.
How do you clean a horse? Going through the steps.
You take a hose that looks like a shower, and you go over their body, and then you take a rag with soap on it, and you go like this with them.
Which direction?
This way.
Which way?
Clockwise.
Okay.
With the fur. There you go. That's, yep, that would be my answer.